Here?
We are
What the heck?
live now, boys. We are live again. Welcome, everybody. Super Bowl champions. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. We had a lot of people that ask, "Are you going to talk about the Eagles for the entire?" No, this is a Phillies show. We don't change that. We don't waver. But we're gonna talk some Phillies. We're talking some Eagles football here. Congratulations to our Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions. There were a lot of people this year that wanted Nick Sirianni fired. Slim was one of them. Let's start off there. Slim, let's talk about
Uh,
that. How you feeling?
did I want Nick Sirianni fired? At what point did I want Nick Sirianni fired?
Week 3. I got
No,
I
I
got
would say
receipts.
maybe at
Week
the end of
3.
last year, I might have want him fired. But
Bones.
the truth is, I want Nick Sirianni fired last year, and Bill
No.
Belichick would have gotten. You wouldn't even need Nick Fangio if you had Bill Belichick. But we're not. It's not here. It's not there. And I was the first Jalen Hurts guy. Okay, but the truth be told, Jalen Hurts really
You were
stepped
a
his
Hurts
game
guy.
up. Night and day from last season. Nick Sirianni proved all the haters wrong. Absolutely truth about that. To the point to where he seems like new school versus Andy Reid old school, right? Because does Andy Reid
Yeah.
seem a little bit cooked? That's been kind of a conversation the last couple of years. But yeah, I'm not going to get too deep into football because we all know that league is for entertainment purposes only.
Right. So, before, with straight face, you didn't want Sirianni fired this year.
No, not this year.
Okay.
At the end of last year, I wanted him fired for Belichick. Absolutely.
We'll have receipts on that. Don't worry.
Kirk Cousins
No
or
worries.
Jalen Hurts?
Say that again.
Kirk Cousins or Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Finally
Yeah,
got
I
to
did
admit
last
that
year?
one.
Hold on. What about at the end of last year? Because that's what you guys are saying. You guys are using the 2025 season to confirm your 2024 opinions, right? Or vice versa, the 24 season for 23 opinions. Things change, right?
Things
And they had a
change.
redemption year, just like hopefully the Phillies can have.
Absolutely. Bones, anything you'd like to say about the Eagles?
Yeah,
We're
so
gonna
as
have a
Chris said, like the NFL is just for entertainment purposes. And I got to be honest, 2 years ago when they won the NFC Championship game, I don't know
Yeah.
if it was because it was a blowout, but I wasn't like real super excited they like they did in 2017
Yeah.
like season. And then even 2 weeks ago, again, I don't know if it was because it was a blowout, wasn't like super excited. And then last night, it was just like, all right, they won, give it the old clap. But I don't know. I don't know if it's because like just the league in general is like falling apart. Like obviously they're still gonna have the viewers, but
Right.
it's really like a flag football league anymore. And I don't know if it's because just like losing interest in the sport itself, or just because it was a blowout and I knew it was coming, so was excited the rest of the game. I don't know.
It's probably
Yeah,
all
so
of that plus. Go ahead, Devo.
No, I was just going to say that's. It's funny you took it that way because that's where I was going to take this entire kind of football conversation. I was going to convert this into how did it make you feel in relation to our prior 2 championships, and obviously being one baseball in the Phillies in 2008, the other in Eagles in 2018. So let me just leave it there. Where did you guys, because they're both very unique feelings, right? The one was the first in 100 seasons. The other one was the first Super Bowl. So where did you guys kind of stand on the way that each of those made you feel? Slim, I'll leave that off with you.
So I think like you kind of just hit it on the head. You get spoiled and you get spoiled pretty fast.
Yeah.
We got the first Super Bowl, right? And that was something we never thought we might see. I know for all right, so going back as a kid, from 0 to 16, there was a true dread over all our consciousness, like it's never going to happen for all the sports, right?
Yep.
And then 08 breaks that down. And it's like, wow, 08, first time since 80, yada, 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 right? That whole thing, which was cool. And then now, right, we haven't won since 08. We're approaching 20 years, right? So now, after a decade, 2 decades, it starts building that momentum again. With
Right.
the Eagles, 2017, our first Super Bowl, right? '08 was nice, but we never won a Super Bowl. So that trumped almost anything for a lot
Yeah.
of people. And okay, what are we like? Are you a young buck and it's your first Super Bowl? Are
Mm-hmm.
you a Jalen Hurts, Nick? Are you someone who just are there because of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts? You're riding them now because you hated the disrespect that they've gotten for 2-3 years now. So and I'm trying to think again as a 34-year-old man. I know I don't look it, but how like I see guys with their face painted. They're down on Broad Street doing
Oh yeah.
burnouts on the or whatever. They're Dougie and everything else.
Yeah. So Bones, what about you? Where do you kind of rank this into how it made you feel? I know how it made you feel, but
I don't know. I can't. Like, I'm glad. I really don't. I think I always said it, but I think it's more of like the Eagles are like my third team now. Like,
yeah.
when it's like Phillies, Penn State, and Eagles football.
Right.
Like, even on Sundays, I wasn't like really paying attention to every game like I would any like Phillies game or Penn State game. It's, I don't know. Just
Here we are bashing football on the day after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. But no, but seriously, like I've been this way for years, and I felt like such a nerd
Right. I
being
gotta
like
give
this way.
kudos to you because I defended the Shield night and day, night and day. I was watching 16 hours of football.
I can't do it anymore, brother. I just can't do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is my first year really not watching. Still waking up on Sundays, finding myself watching a little bit of it. But like you said, not knowing the matchups, not knowing who's in and who's out. One other thing though, and I'm going to ask this to Bones because I don't have any kids. When we lost to Kansas City 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I watched it with my nephew, and I could see like the dread on his face. So that was fun watching it with my nephew. I think a lot of people, their experience comes with watching it with their kids. Oh, I saw in 1980 with my dad.
That's a good point.
But then again in '08 with my grandson or whatever it may be. So, any of those angles for anybody out there, or still the kids are too young, maybe?
Yeah, Thomas is like pretty into it. So a couple years ago when we lost, he was
upset.
Like, get used to it because this is it. Like, see you next year. And then yesterday was pretty cool seeing him celebrate a bunch of us up at the club. So,
are you worried what it could do to a child's personality? How New England, there's some kids who had like 8 Super Bowls or whatever it was, and they just no winning left and right, or they have 8 championships between all these franchises.
It's like crazy.
Imagine we grew up like that. Like, we would be different, no doubt, right?
That's a great call out. Because that was actually going to be depending on how this conversation went, that was another thing I wanted to call out. So, no more of the we're underdogs, no more of the Negadelphia, no more of nothing ever goes our way bullcrap, right? That's not the case anymore. That's not who we are. We go to the World Series, we go to the Super Bowl, but we have winning teams in almost every sport. That's not a thing anymore. So I'm really curious to see how that evolves, right? Like next year when it's week 5 and the Eagles have a bad week, you can't call the radio and say that we need to fire everybody.
Well, you know what it is? Some of it is the NFL with the global branding, and the Eagles are almost like America's team, or like they could become Australia's team, Brazil's team. So it's not just Philadelphia.
Dude, I was thinking about that, dude. I was thinking about that.
It's mostly Philadelphia is cheering for the Phillies. I know there's some UK fans, but for the most part, we're mostly from this area still.
Yeah. Are we good if I draw a line in the sand on football talk there, or anything else we wanted to get off our chest?
I was thinking September 5th.
September 5th.
Yeah. Eagles fans be calling up, telling them fire the new offense coordinator after Eagles lose opening night.
Yes. No, seriously. There are some people that have that in them, but I really do think that this Super Bowl after that dominant fashion. It wasn't even. That was the other thing. The type of win that was, it almost takes away from the victory and the feeling you feel, right?
Yeah, that wasn't an
Like-
18-point win. That was
Yeah. That was a
basically-
30-point win.
Yeah.
That
The
was a
NFL
30-point
needed
win.
it because nobody wanted to stomach a flag game. They needed a blowout. I feel like.
Oh yeah, because on
You know?
on the way that game would have been.
Yep.
That's a good call. All right, boys, I'm gonna officially move forward from this here. Get Bones. You want to say one more thing?
Nah, that's last time you hear about the Eagles on the red corner.
Yes, we're done. We make a vow. The only time we will talk about the Eagles on this podcast is in the future is if we win the Super Bowl. Deal? All right, deal. All right, boys. Last week we made some 2025 offensive predictions. So, sure, we got some not suitable for work comment there, but I am going to acknowledge that it was made to give you a little bit of attention there in the chat. But let's transition here to the 2025 pitcher predictions. Let me get our let's go. So let's start off with Bones. I'm looking at you. Who do you got for leading the team in strikeouts for the year?
Leading the team in strikeouts. He's been the ace since he came over here. It's Zach Wheeler.
Okay.
Another dominating year. 240 strikeouts we'll go with.
Oh, I like that.
And first, you want the reliever too?
Yeah, give your starter and reliever, then we'll let Slim do that too.
And then for reliever, they were showing videos of him last week down in Clearwater already. They said he lost some weight, in pretty good shape. I'm going with Jose Alvarado.
Oh, I like that pick.
84.
Okay. Slim, who you got?
So I'm going to stay with Bones. If you guys remember, we might be getting some Zach Wheeler Cy Young tickets. So he's going to lead us in strikeouts. I'm going to go under 245, though, and I'll go with 226.
Like it.
And out the bullpen, I'm going to go with Alvarado.
Nice. For efficiency, I'm just going to give some names. So for strikeouts, I'm going to go Old Faithful and Aaron Nola. And for relief pitcher, I'm going to have Matty Strom, our fellow card bro, Slim. And I'm going to have him go back-to-back years leading the well, actually, no, not back-to-back years because Hoffman led the team in relief pitcher and strikeouts last year. But this year, I'm going to have Hoff as Strom.
All right.
All righty, moving along
John's
here.
probably going to get it. That's a good pick.
Thank you. I'm going to go ERA. Bones, who you got for the leader?
I'm going to stick with Zach Wheeler. It's going to be up a little tick from last year, but Zach Wheeler 283 we'll go with. And then out of the bullpen, I think it's going to be the young kid, Orion Kirkering, leading the bullpen with a 2.24 ERA.
Yeah, Slim, you could just jump right in on for all of them.
Yeah, I'll go with Wheeler. I'll go with a 2.70 ERA. And I'll stay with my team's going to be ERA. Yeah, give me Strom. And he'll have a 1.17 ERA.
No, that's a monster year. All right, I'm
Monster
going to
year
go.
for Strom.
Yeah.
Who's the
So
monster last year?
he was a beast, all-star. All right, so for my ERA, I'm going to go Zach Wheeler, and for the starter, and for relief pitcher, I'm going to go Orion Kirkering.
All right,
So I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
All right.
All right, let's transition here to a little bit of a negative one. Who is going to lead the team in walks? No, wait, did I ask you guys for lower or higher for walks?
Lower, I believe.
I can't
Okay,
remember.
perfect.
The homers was higher.
All right, perfect. Then let's go walks. Bones, you're up.
Zach Wheeler, 39. sense the theme here.
And I'll give the most walks then. I think because I'm going to say Wheeler for the least walks.
Yeah.
The most walks, I think it's going to be Sanchez. I think Sanchez will end up having the most walks.
Okay. And I'll actually stick with you on that one, Slim. And I'm going to go Luzardo will lead the team in walks. I did a little stat searching on him. He was pretty high up there in his last full year. So, hey, maybe they correct that.
Yeah, I believe Caleb Coughlin with that.
True. True.
I wouldn't be shocked if Nola has the worst ERA out the 5, and then Sanchez comes in 4. So from bottom to top, I would go Nola 5, Sanchez 4, and then I'll let you two can figure out the other 3. But that's what I'm smelling.
No, I mean, listen, that would not surprise me the slightest. This is a kind of not a modern day stat by any means, but complete games. Do you guys know the total number of complete games that the Phillies had at all together last year?
Last year?
3.
Okay. What do you got, Slim?
4.
Correct.
Ooh.
That's the exacta. It's 4.
Sanchez
1
2?
by Ranger. Sanchez, Ranger, and 2 by Wheeler.
Wheeler didn't have any.
Wheeler didn't have any. So I believe it was Sanchez 2, Nola, and Ranger. I think that's correct. And Wheeler had none.
Interesting. And it's interesting that Wheeler didn't have any, right? Because he's the best.
He's the
I think that's so. I heard. Go, keep going.
I was going to say that in mind. Who do you guys think is going to lead the team in complete games this year? Go ahead, Slim.
So with the complete game thing, I'll go with someone unexpected. Give me Sanchez, because here's what I'm going to say about the complete game thing. And now I'm starting to think about it 2 ways. You guys know I like the advanced metrics on the pitching and the inning stuff. How much of that do you think is just a red herring, complete crock of bull, because they're trying to save money in these markets? Because it was a widely acceptable thing a few decades ago that these managers and commissioners, they would hold out contracts for what these players were worth. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they don't let these guys pitch because then they would honestly have the numbers to get paid more.
So
these guys aren't going past 5 innings, right? And they're starting relievers in the first inning and stuff. And I'm sitting here always on the other end of it saying, oh, it makes sense. It makes sense. But there is an angle to where it's all just nonsense to control what their stats look like when it comes to payday. And that actually makes sense with Wheeler not going the yard on some of those. The reverse angle is we have Sanchez tied up for a little bit. So let's see, Same thing with Luzardo. Let's see if we want to. I don't know.
No, I think that there's a lot of truth to what you're saying. Now I get what you were saying, and I think that that's part of the reason that it's so important for the evolution of the way that not only the Hall of Fame voters on the extreme end kind of look at the game, but also the way that the All-Star game, the way that all these incentives that are built into their contracts, right? Because that had to get modernized, right? Because to your point, if a guy previously had all of these kickers baked into his contract based on the way the game used to be played, he's going to be pissed at the end of the year when the manager, used him 40% less than he thought he was going to get used. So, no, I think that's a great point.
It's interesting to watch what's happening with Bregman with Houston, right? Because he's saying he wants like 6 or 7 years, and everyone's saying he can only get 3 or 4. And he's saying it's interesting for him to be so bullish on the amount of years if there wasn't something there. So it almost seems like in this Bregman situation, there might be some conspiring. And I'm saying conspiring on the, just for the hyperbole of it. But there's 3 or 4 teams, and they're all like, we'll give you 3 to 4 years. It's interesting. and it's something I'm going to be watching more and more of. Because look, spring training countdown, 2 days, catchers and pitchers are coming. And there's a
Yup,
lot of
2 days,
guys still out
baby.
there. A lot of guys still out there.
So my
Uh,
prediction 0,
oh,
0 complete games,
No,
and
that's a
it's
good one.
and I don't think it's cause like it might be like what you were saying, but like the Phillies, like the way their staff is built, they're kind of like the older baseball with the way they pitch. They're
yeah.
not like really out there going, all right, give me 100 for 5 straight innings and then we'll get you out. I think theirs is more like the pitchers like mess around a lot. Like they get ahead of the count and they try to like that's where and they throw a lot of pitches in like 6, 7 innings and then they got to come out. It's not like they're like being just like going out there for 6 innings, throwing 100 miles an hour and going. They're just like getting ahead, trying to like waste balls. And
Yeah.
I really hate that kind of because then you start get yourself in trouble. And it's like Nola, it pisses me off to no end. He gets ahead like 0-2 so many times, and then next thing you know, it's 2-2, 3-2, and there goes the solo homer, and I'll get into that.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Slim, did you mention your complete game leader
Complete.
or prediction?
I'll go with 3.
Okay.
2 from Sanchez again, and we'll get 1 from Luzardo.
Oh, nice. Some love for the new kid on the block. I love it. I for complete games leader, I have 2 on the year, and I didn't specify a number, but I had Nola as the leader of the clubhouse. So whatever that means, I guess maybe he's going to get 2. All right. So Bones just alluded to this. Homers allowed. I had to include this one. Bones, I'll start with you. Who do you think's going to lead the Phils?
Same guy that leads it every year for them, Aaron Nola.
All
It's like no doubt about it. It's usually either earlier in the game or like 5th inning.
Death and
Start to get the hook
taxes.
on them, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's usually only solo homers, which is good.
Yup. No, that is true. I mean, if you're going to let up a homer, you
Yeah.
want it to be a solo.
34 of them.
Slim, who you got?
I'll go with Nola too. Number, I'll go with 36. I'll go a couple over whatever
Ooh.
Bones said.
All right.
And you know what my question is? When Bones was describing our pitchers wasting pitches, and then last week we listened to Remuto and we touched on Remuto a little bit.
Yeah.
What's his? And if there's any catchers out there, hit the chat. What's the catcher's impact to adding pitches per game? Depending on the way they call a game. Because you hear Remuto talking, he talks about how he'll set stuff up, or he'll call things that a pitcher's never thrown before after a swinger swung at something that usually they wouldn't have because it was too, because he can tell that the hitter has a tell on these usually unhittable pitches that they're waiting on these breaks or whatever. So how much of an influence do you think Remuto is into adding these high pitch counts to our guys who are only going 6, 7 innings?
So I don't think it's like he definitely calls for the pitches, but I don't think it's like if you're going to do it, don't miss too bad. Like you just want them to try to chase. They'll just go up there like throwing curveballs in the dirt and hoping they chase. They're not playing against their own lineup, which they'll do that, but other teams ain't going to do it. And it's like literally that's what Noel. I feel like it's Noel. He just throws the ball in the dirt and he's hoping someone's going to swing at it.
So, Slim, you're saying like if a catcher is calling a game and he's calling for a lot of junk outside of the
Are
zone
there
and stuff?
trends where it's like this catcher, the way he ends up calling games is the way he's setting up the payoff pitch is adding X amount of pitches to a pitcher per year or whatever, per game, Molina, his total pitches per game is 180 to where Remuto's 210 or some shit, And I'm sure there's someone tracking this kind of stuff. I just wonder when it matters. Because Remuto's great at his job. He's great,
Absolutely. All right, so let's kind of move on to saves here, and I think this is probably the funnest one because I think we might see some variety. So let's start off with you, Bones. Who do you have leading us in saves this year?
I don't think he starts the year as the closer, but eventually he gets the job and takes it. Orion Kirkering
Okay.
gets the most saves with 32.
Good number.
I'm gonna go Alvarado with 33.
Ooh.
So that would be interesting, right? Because the Phillies haven't those are two borderline consistent closer save numbers, right? And I went back and forth between those two as well. I landed on Kirkering. But for them to get in the 30s, I wonder when they would have to secure the job by. What do you think? Like May? Where, unless they go on an absolute tear, which having a good team with a lot of wins helps for a closer, right? So, yeah, that would be cool to see, like, a nice...
I mean, we talked about it. We like the over, right? And where is it now?
It was at 88.5 when I last checked, 89.5.
I like them get I think they're going to get at least 91 wins. I like 91 wins this year.
Did you see that Baseball America, like, prediction tool or whatever that has them?
No.
Yeah, it has them, I think, at like 87 wins or something, second in the wild card.
Yeah.
But
Have them like fifth in the National League,
yeah,
third in the NL East, and second wild card. Yeah,
second wild card. Grain of salt though, because they won 95 games last year and had them winning like 84 games. So
yeah, there's something messed up. When I'm looking at the market, some stuff's messed up, and the Red Riders, the crew, we're going to be capitalizing.
Yes, sir. Speaking of Red Riders, chat's open, guys. So we're going to be teasing our next giveaway. So keep that chat open. And guys, I wanted to have a little on-air trivia question. It's a tough one, so full disclosure, we obviously have the spring training coming up, right? Grapefruit League down in Clearwater, and we have a very exciting opportunity coming with Andrew Painter, 22-year-old, top pitching prospect. Back in the early 2000s, we had another 22-year-old top pitching prospect in Cole Hamels, who's going to be a special instructor guest this spring, which is awesome. So back in, I don't have the year. I want to say, what do you think would that have been, 2002? Cole coming up around that time?
He was drafted in 02. I think it was 05 season, 06.
All right, so there you go. Thank you. So Cole faced his first three batters. He struck out the side in his spring training debut.
Spring training.
Can you name the three batters?
Okay.
So,
you're not giving us a team?
So obviously, I'll give you guys a little bit of something. So obviously,
so it was like 03, 04.
Yeah, it would have been 03, 04 area. Think about who would be playing. Think about why I'm asking. Think about, the teams that we typically play. And there's some huge names.
Yeah. I'm going to go
it.
with...
You got it?
Well,
Go ahead. No, let those go first.
Go.
I'm going to go with the Yankees.
Okay.
Fuck.
And I'm going to go with... I'm going to say, 03, 04... I don't know who their leadoff hitter was, but I'm going to go with Jeter.
Okay.
A-Rod.
Okay. Ding,
and
ding.
Jason Giambi.
Now, Kevin Clark. That was the hardest of the three, though.
What the hell's that?
I have
Kevin
written
Clark.
down right here. I have Jeter, A-Rod, Bobby Abreu.
Bobby Abreu was still in the Phillies.
Yeah, he's in the Phillies. But that's a good pull by both of you guys. You both should be proud of yourselves.
Should not have passed. That would have been like Stump the Swab, if you pass one.
I thought you were going to say like who was his first win against in the majors?
No, because I just wanted to
up right away, right in your head.
Yeah, like it's Yankees, Tigers.
Exactly. That's why I figured I wanted to give you a little context. Hold on. Let me see who this Kevin Clark is, because for some reason, I made it seem like he was someone that I
He probably
knew.
played first base or something.
He might have had like 6 career at
So I was
bats.
like stuck, like where I'm guessing. I'm like, if it was, I'm assuming it was '04 because in '03, A-Rod was still in the Rangers because that trade happened in '04.
Yeah.
I was
Because I was
listening
going to
to.
say Soriano, Jeter, and then try to think of who would be batting third with them at the time.
Great pull by both of you. But I'm gonna let you guys, bring up whatever's on your chest. But let's tease this little future giveaway here. There you have it, folks.
Oh, very
So
nice.
we have a custom wooden mini Phillies bat. Will be a nice giveaway for you guys in the future. We will be showcasing this on our socials the next week or so. We will explain everything, how you get involved. It'll be very similar. We go old school raffles. Bones did the last raffle. We rotate. We're going to let Slim do the next raffle. And we will throw your names into the hat. And then, very simple, we ship it out to your house when you're the winner. So, Red Riders, keep a lookout. We got a nice little custom wood Phillies bat. So there you have it.
Nice.
That is nice. I can't. It has some very fine inscription there. It looks very nice.
Yeah, it's
Almost.
cool. That's not there. We go. Boys, anything else you want? Slim, I know you said you had some stuff. Anything you wanted to jump into, or what?
The things that caught my eye this week were one, the whole take on these owners just really conspiring not to give these guys any stats. I thought that was interesting, like for sure. And this dude was like, no, he was like, it's all red herring stuff. And I was like, yeah, I could, it's definitely, makes sense, because some of if you think about the MLB, how many teams are trying to win it every year? Not many, We talked about in the middle of our 9th and 10th and 7th episode, we were talking about the Morgan family buying in, and we thought maybe that would help us secure another big deal guy. It didn't at that point. Maybe it does mid-season if we make a trade. But yeah, there's a lot of teams that are just breaking even. Who is it? What team was it? The Cubs. The Cubs this past few weeks ago, made a comment about, you guys don't understand. We're breaking even, and you should be happy.
No, listen. There's a real business element that's to this, right? Like
you see it at the trade deadline. Like, look at the Pirates. They signed Tommy Pham, and they got maybe a generational.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, they haven't even discussed giving Paul Skeens an extension. Like, there was like a running joke last year, like, oh, they're just setting him up to get traded to the Yankees in 5 years. The Pirates haven't signed a free agent to a multi-year contract since 2016.
That's wild.
That's crazy. I saw that stat. That is last year, and they signed dudes like Ronnie Tevez last year. They signed for 1 year. He comes in, plays first base. He goes somewhere else. Now it's top. It's like these guys who are 12, 13-year veterans. We started the show shitting on the NFL, and we're going to end bringing up some of MLB's demons.
But I can see that happening, because they said these arbitration hearings, they get pretty nasty.
Oh yeah.
They come in and say no, this is your value, that you did this, this, and this, but then they can't go back and say, well, we have this advanced stuff that it could have been this, but you did this.
Guys, we almost forgot huge breaking news. Alec Boehm and Eric Donlin are official and walking around the Super Bowl together. So that's what do they call that nowadays when a couple goes public? What's
My
that?
day.
What's that?
My day was Facebook.
It was Facebook. No, it was the hard launch. There you go. They officially did.
Launch.
Yeah,
Nice.
they did their hard launch over the weekend at the Super Bowl. But but that is now officially official. So maybe
good for them. Hopefully that
Yeah.
helps them. Because I know it was in the background a little bit.
He sucked
now that
after they were on,
hard launch.
came out last year.
So it's funny. Obviously I was saying that in jest, but I was reading an article about it, and Aaron was commenting on. Yes, I don't. First of all, I'm not just saying this to be like cool guy. What is her actual role at ESPN?
Sideline reporter.
No, I think she had like a betting show on there, didn't she?
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So anyway, long story short, what was making me laugh was she said in this article that Alec is coming to like watch and support her in the biggest moment this weekend like she does for him, which I thought was obviously funny because, the contrast of that.
Yeah.
But so was she like a Super Bowl reporter or something? Like that was the thing that went over my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't really watched ESPN in a while.
I need someone on this show needs to be up to date on the ESPN reporters. Can one of you guys table that?
The hardest part about being on this show is staying up to date with what's going on at ESPN.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, man. But guys, anything else?
This day in
Of course, we never forget that.
this day in Phillies history, Nails was born.
Ooh,
Happy birthday.
Let me see. I think he was 64. 1964 he was born. So
he's not 64. He's 60.
Nah.
no, I'm saying he was born
In 1960? 1961?
no, he was born in 1964.
So he's 60 years old. 61 years old.
61. I'm pretty sure. I had it up here and I don't know where it went. Oh well, but yeah.
Whether he's 60 or 61, I think our listeners will survive. All right. Moving
Surprised
on.
he made it that long.
Yeah, seriously. Nels, who's I can comfortably say the absolute craziest MLB alumni member. Like, goddamn. He is a maniac.
We almost got through a whole show.
Yeah.
True. I didn't think about it once. They got the
True.
horse. They found the horse head in their bed.
Thomas is in there with a shoe. He must have put it down.
Is that the loan on this day in Phillies history?
Yeah, that was it. It's just birthdays today.
All right. Another great week here. When we meet next week, boys, the boys of summer will be down at Clearwater all together. Pitchers and catchers will have officially reported, and we will have some very exciting content and some very exciting giveaways to announce. So stay tuned, guys. Like, subscribe. If you are watching and you have not subscribed yet, please do. And have a great week. Go Birds, go Phils. Go Red Corner.